Okay, specific new and used on the outbound. It's important to note that before we get started, that outbound calls are going to be the bulk of your workload in a given week or month to generate business for your dealership. It's very important that you want to master these techniques that are outlined in the outbound process so that you can be an effective salesperson over the phone. The average internet salesperson or BDC rep should make a minimum of 120 phone calls per day. And you may be wondering, geez, why so many phone calls? The answer is simple. It's a numbers game. The average connection rate, the amount of times you're going to get somebody, is somewhere between 7% and 9%, depending on where you're at. This means that for every 120 phone calls, you will actually only speak with about 8 to 10 people each day. Okay? That's via phone, doesn't include text messages. So the next question is, who are we calling to make 120 phone calls per day? Alright, so we're reaching out to people in our market who have gone online to websites like Auto Trader, Car Gurus, Cars.com, TrueCar.com. These are just some of the most widely used tools by car shoppers as they go online looking for vehicles. But there are certainly many more that you should familiarize yourself with in addition to these. Now, I mention these specific websites because we're going to actually use them as memory joggers or reminders as part of our greeting process during our outbound phone call techniques, okay? So our outbound phone call process is a lot like our inbound call process for new and used vehicles. The differences are going to be the first two lines that we're going to use to make sure we've got the right prospect on the phone, make sure we introduce ourselves in the dealership properly, and begin with that qualifying question, okay? So we want to jog their memory about the vehicles that they search for online. So before we actually get into the outbound script itself, let's take a quick review of the chapter beginning and see what you've learned and what you expect and what you can remember.